only on 89.7 and streaming on 897fm.com.au.
Glen's come over from the Peter Cowan Writers Centre. So welcome back to the Peter Cowan Writers Centre. Last week we had our first guest in for a long time. Is there a novel in Glen?
Well, I hope so. Look, what you're going to hear today is science fiction. So I thought to keep the good, vibrant pace up of the station, you're going to hear a space battle.
A space battle. Is this a prelude to anything, or is it all in one story we're going to get? Or is
it'll make sense. It's one chapter from a book called Quorum Treaty, which is book one of a series called Law of Energy and Light.
Right.
Commander Dark's warriors trudged in to form a circle as best they could. Their energy is returned to the cross and makes it stronger. Landen Dark said the words of transition. True energy, his warriors replied as one. More beat warriors joined the circle, their formation a symbol of peace and energy. They have given up their light from now until record ends, Landen said solemnly to his warriors as they intoned, Where there is light, there cannot be darkness. His warriors took a few steps in, closely surrounding the mound at its centre. These bodies had been piled high into the air. Their bodies bind the universe, and their energy binds us all. Landen Dark was a warrior's warrior. He had shoulder-length dark hair, and some of it dangled in front of his stubbled chin. For Landen, battle had phased out all the colour in the universe. No matter the planet he fought on, red, white, grey or other, he saw only black and white. On occasion, a splash of red would colour the face of a warrior fallen. We are heading towards the city of tubes, Landen said coolly. Our warriors need rest, and All of a sudden, something zipped past his ear. A heartbeat later, a blast exploded in the ruins behind. The men looked at each other and yelled, Vorkers! Lasers lit up the dark sky. Streaks appeared all around, dancing a melody of murder. Chaos broke out. Warriors of the cross dove for cover. Boots thundered on rock, smoke choked throats, and sand kicked up into Landen's mouth. He spat with a chewy crunch. Several cries could be heard. Run! And formation! Soon, laser streaks flew everywhere, and a blast knocked Landen sideways. His head dashed the rocky ground, and in a flash his eyesight was gone, and blood and guts had covered his face, amidst ringing in his ears. I'm okay, I think. And whose guts are these? When the dust settled, he could see who had lost their energy. The impact had claimed two good warriors, disembowelling them. They had become flying mince, and the taste of blood had filled Landen's mouth. Another warrior came past, only to stop right next to Landen Dark. He was about to bark an order at him when he saw this youth gawking lifelessly straight ahead. This warrior unclipped his armour, undid his breeches, and pissed everywhere. Warriors of the cross were now strewn across the battlefield in an unorderly fashion. Most of their machines were out of action, and at best guess, Landen had lost a quarter of his surviving forces already. He had seen enough. His communicator lit up in his ear. The nanobot came to life, communicating a message in his mind, the command to retreat. Anton, he called. An old warrior came over. We will regroup at the city of tubes. Prepare the carbon cerulean. Commander Landen Dark joined the retreat. He dashed with heavy boots over the dunes, and no sooner had he travelled a sand ridge did a blast explode to his right, propelling him forward. Soon he was tumbling down a soggy dune. The world went upside down and spun. He came to rest with a splash. Landen waded in muddy water, his armour waterlogged and his weapon gone. But even before he could grasp his bearings, instinct told him there was something behind him. Out of the corner of his eye he saw a tail that looked like it would be useful in a body of water. Landen turned and allowed those cunning eyes of his to see a scaly mass from tail tip to head. The Vorka stared back at him. It leered upon the water's edge from whence Landen had come, with small blue eyes that sparkled as crystals. Scales of grey-green covered the reptilian. He has lost his armour too, and his weapon. Am I the luckiest warrior on this battlefield? Landen waded out to halfway, to where the water got deeper and eventually he had to swim. The Vorka kicked off from the far bank, flailed for 3 heartbeats, thrashed some more, and began to sink. Landen did not panic. He kept his form. With each stroke, he drew closer and closer to the other side. He waded ashore, dripping. The Vorka did not fare as well. It got halfway before retreating to the mud bank. The creature grumbled something in its native tongue. The thick, guttural tones of Vorka prose were unmistakable. Harsh, abrupt and unnerving. It ended up with a snarl that came out more like a clumsy spit. Landen Dark trudged up to see the carbon cerulean. His silvery ship and the undercarriage reflected the amber and orange flames that blazed in the north. Smeared with grime and dust, the words he lived by were still visible on the hull. You have to bleed for peace. Landen Dark looked back at his brooding adversary, and they exchanged a last, steely look.